Hello, amazing artists. Happy Fun Art Friday. So today I thought we could do a guided drawing together. So that means I'm going to be drawing on the video and you guys are going to be doing it at home along with me. You're going to need a couple supplies to get started. I would start drawing with a pencil. I'm going to do it straight with my fancy Mr. Sharpie, but that's because I am an art professional. I suggest you would do it in pencil and then trace with Sharpie or any marker that you have at home. I'm also going to be using some crayons and I am also going to be using some watercolor paints, but if you don't have paints at home, crayon or marker, whatever you want to use to color this in is fine. And then of course I have my brushes and I have some water here. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so to start my llama, and again, I'm gonna draw right with Sharpie. I suggest you draw with a pencil first, especially because I already attempted to draw a llama once, and I messed it up, but I didn't have enough room for legs. So, even Miss Gillespie makes mistakes with Mr. Sharpie. Here we go. Llama, let's start with your head. I'm gonna start up here in the top left corner of my paper. I'm gonna draw an ear, a rainbow shape for the top of the head, another little ear, just like that. I'm gonna draw the sides of my llama's head. I want my llama to look kind of fluffy, so I'm gonna make these sort of wiggly. And I'm gonna do that on both sides. Llamas have long necks, so I want my neck to come about halfway down my paper. So I'm gonna kind of just draw, doesn't have to be perfectly straight, line like that. The back of my llama is going to come straight out because my llama is actually going to be holding something on its back. So I'm going to draw a line straight across. Now for the body, imagine you're making a rectangle. So I'm going to actually do that with pencil. Okay, so there's my rectangle shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of squiggle with the Sharpie sort of around that rectangle shape to make the body. I'm gonna give my llama a little tail. And now I need to make some llama legs. So I'm gonna start by making 4 little squiggly tops of the legs. And again, they don't have to be perfect. And then for the bottom of the leg, it's gonna just kind of be a stretched out U shape. And then I'm gonna draw a line for like the hoof of the llama. And I'm gonna color that in with my Sharpie. Okay, now, right now this kind of just looks like a blob, so let's make it look more like a llama. Let's go up to the head, and I'm gonna draw right in the middle of the face here, right where my finger is, sort of like a lumpy, almost like an avocado shape. And that's gonna be the snout of the llama, so I'm gonna give him a little nose, and then a little mouth. And then the eyes, you can kind of do however you want. I'm gonna do cute little sleepy eyes. So I'm gonna do 2 U shapes with some eyelashes. You don't have to give your llama eyelashes, but if you want to, go for it. Now, back here on the back, right here, we're gonna draw sort of an upside down rainbow shape. So I'm gonna have my llama wearing a blanket. And then inside this rainbow shape, you can add some sort of decoration or pattern or design or kind of whatever you want. I'm gonna do maybe a flower. And squiggle. I'll add more designs to that in a little bit when I add color. Now I said my llama was going to be carrying something on its back, so let's go ahead and add that. I am actually going to do a little basket. So I'm gonna start up here, and I'm gonna draw 2 curved lines, and then a line across to make the rim of the basket. And then I'm just gonna do some squiggles just to kind of give my basket some texture, so it looks like it's woven. And I'm gonna put some fruit in here for a little snack. Draw a little apple. And you don't have to do the same fruit as me. You can do whatever you want. I'm gonna do pineapple. Texture on my pineapple. Do an orange. Maybe a little lemon or a little lime. Okay, yummy. Now I am going to give my llama some cute little flowers on top of her little llama head. If you are making a boy llama, maybe you could give your llama a hat or something. You don't have to draw anything on top of your llama if you don't want to. I'm just doing it to make my llama fancy. And a couple little flowers there. Okay, my llama looks pretty cute. I'm going to give my llama some decoration on its neck. So I'm actually gonna draw like a little tassel. So I'm gonna draw a line. And then to make the tassel, I'm gonna do a circle and then a triangle. And I'm just gonna do a line of those the way across. And let's do another one up here. This is a very fancy llama. Okay, I dig it. So now that my llama is drawn, I'm going to take my crayons and I'm going to just color in the smaller details of the llama. Watercolor paint. Watercolor paint should always be translucent, meaning you can see through the paint. So you should never have so much paint on your brush that if I paint over this section here, I'm covering up that nose and mouth. That means I have way too much paint and not enough water. So I'm gonna take my favorite brush. You can tell it's my favorite because it looks so crazy. It sat in water for too long and all of the paint on the brush kind of came off because the wood expanded. So that looks a little dark, right? So I'm gonna add a little more water. don't have to paint this. You could also just color with markers if you wanted. It's cool. I'm gonna go in and add some decoration here. And I should be able to paint right over that crayon, and still see my colors. Careful when you're putting wet paint next to wet paint, because the watercolors, those bad boys are going to mix together. So I'm being extra careful to try not to touch that red color. Are like yellow inside, but they're kind of brown outside, so I think I'm gonna do a combo. I'm putting a little yellow, and then I'm just gonna get a tinge of brown, and I'm gonna kind of blend it. Last thing I need to do is my flowers, and then my llama is pretty much done. Make your flowers whatever color you want them to be. Just be careful, you don't want to mix the colors. Wet paint and wet paint, if they touch, they're gonna mix. This beautiful llama. Looks like I got a little drip right here. Maybe I could turn that into something, or I could just paint my whole background blue. But that's my llama.